Alright guys, here's a picture of what the Hyperloop would look like. In Texas government, we were discussing new forms of transportation. In a rising population, we need a new form. We need to reinvent our old ways of getting around. The Hyperloop will. The Hyperloop would update our transportation. It will reduce commute between cities, and it will prove to be safer by the way it's built and its structure and the way it runs. Which brings me to my first point. To update our transportation, our old ways of getting around is very inefficient, it's costly, and it's hazardous to us and our environment. The Hyperloop will solve those problems and will make our old forms of getting around obsolete. According to GTM, the Hyperloop will run on solar panels, not on fossil fuels like our boats, our airplanes, our vehicles, and our railways. According to Tech Insider, it'll be cheaper, faster, and more frequent. Cheaper because it has little to almost no maintenance. Cheaper because it does not run with people, it runs off of computers. And it's faster, it'll go 800 miles an hour, 700 to 800 miles an hour, and it's frequent because it'll shoot a capsule which holds the people in it every 10 to 30 seconds. It will reduce commute. People have businesses in different cities, like my boss Byron himself. He has a farm down in the valley and a ranch here in College Station. The valley and College Station are 6 hours away. The Hyperloop can reduce that by 30 minutes. Can reduce that to 30 minutes. College students need to go home and visit their families. Like us here in College Station, it takes me 6 hours to get back home. The Hyperloop could reduce that to 30 minutes. Texas is very urban, just like NYC. The reason we don't see that is because our cities are very far from each other. This would be our fifth mode of transportation according to The Verge. The structure of the Hyperloop would be highways of tubes next to the highways we have now, except these would have to be straight because any turns or curves our body wouldn't be able to handle the inertia. It is very similar to the Banks tubes, the pneumatic tubes, except this would not be run by a vacuum. It will have two skis or air bearings on each side of the capsule, which will push pressurized air between the capsule and the tube to keep it floating, so it will have almost no friction to it. It will also have an air compressor in the front, which would push the air to the back, which would run the capsule through the tube. The tube is very immune to weather, so it won't be affected by anything, and it's low pressure. According to International Business Times, the capsules would be pushed by a series of electromagnets. And according to Business Insider, the pylons would need to be shock resistant. The pylons will also be every 100 feet. So every pylon would hold two tubes, one on the bottom and one on top, or they could be sideways. One to push capsules one way and one to push it back the other way. It would really work, and it'd be very environmental friendly. It'd be very cheap to build, and according to Business Insider, the Hyperloop will be $7.5 billion to build it to carry cargo, and only $6 billion to build it to only carry people, as opposed to that of the high-speed railway. The high-speed railway would cost anywhere from $68 to $70 billion just to build it, and it only goes 220 miles an hour. So in conclusion, the Hyperloop would be environmentally friendly, it'd be very efficient, and it would reduce all kinds of things like traffic jams and any other problem on roads or using up our fossil fuels. That's it. Here, show the note cards.
You have to show the people.